What is it about the lives of child stars that fascinates us so much? Maybe it's that many of us were kids when we were watching them, and identified with them more than adult actors. And maybe it's that so many kids crack under the pressure of so much early fame. But whatever the reason, child stars are immensely interesting. So let's take a look at some from one of the best decades of all. I'm Nostalgic Nick for Do You Remember? And today we're catching up with some of the biggest child stars of the 1960s. For this collection, we tried to choose actors who you may have lost track of a little bit. For example, if you don't know what Ron Howard has been up to the last couple of decades, you should probably pull your head out of the sand. And while you do, hit that thumbs up for us, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a memory. But now, let's go see if the kids are truly alright. Hayley Mills.
What's the matter? Oh my gosh, I just had the craziest dream.
60s teen sensation Hayley Mills burst onto the scene when she was 13 by winning the BAFTA for Most Promising Newcomer for her first ever film role in the British crime drama Tiger Bay. She quickly followed that up by winning the last ever Juvenile Academy Award for Pollyanna. And then she got double famous by starring as identical twins in the iconic original version of The Parent Trap. Lindsay Lohan, eat your heart out. Although Mills never again hit the box office heights of her childhood, in the late 80s you'll remember her as the first teacher that had to deal with Zach Morris as Miss Bliss in the show Saved by the Bell, and most recently in the British miniseries Pitching In. Mills has also beat breast cancer and is currently dating a man 20 years her junior. So all in all, Hayley Mills is pretty much a badass times two. Mark Kopach. This child star became an instant hit when the sitcom Julia premiered in 1968. Julia was groundbreaking in that it was the first weekly TV series to portray an African-American woman as a professional rather than a stereotypical housekeeper role. And Mark Kopach wooed America as Julia's adorable son Corey. Kopach became so famous that Michael Jackson was soon asking for his autograph. But after this initial flash of fame, Kopach decided that the acting life just wasn't for him, and he went back to school to become a jazz musician. He does still occasionally act, however, most recently in 2018's The Meg. These days, he supports his love for jazz by working as a leasing agent and assistant manager of an apartment complex. Erin Murphy. America fell in love with Erin Murphy, watching the adorable little girl portray the eldest child on the hit sitcom Bewitched. Murphy's adorable Tabitha inherited her mother's powers and often contributed to the show's hilarious hijinks, and we have a whole video detailing the cast of Bewitched if you want to revisit the entire gang. After Bewitched was canceled in 1972, Murphy appeared as a guest star on Lassie and in over 100 commercials, but never really gained traction as an adult actress. These days, Murphy has turned her attention to the world of business. She has co-owned Slim Chillers, a company that makes diet vodka popsicles, since 2014. In 2018, she purchased her dream home in Malibu for $2.8 million. With a twitch of her nose, Tabitha's doing just fine. Jay North. As the eponymous character in Dennis the Menace, Jay North became one of the 60s biggest child stars by terrorizing his neighborhood with his zany antics. But after Dennis, North struggled to make it as an actor. The public just couldn't separate him in their minds from the adorable role that made him famous. North did get some voice work in The Pebbles and Bam Bam Show and starred in The Teacher in 1974, but quickly became disillusioned with Hollywood and basically stopped acting altogether. Since the mid-80s, his only credits have been as himself, both on an episode of The Simpsons
Dennis the Menace?
Yes, I was America's bad boy. I once hid my dad's hat.
and in Dickie Roberts' former child star. After the suicide of friend and fellow child star Rusty Hammer, North opened up about the abuse that he received on the set of Dennis the Menace, and now is part of the organization A Minor Consideration, where he helps counsel child stars dealing with the same pressure and problems that he faced growing up. Lisa Loring.
Come and see the new pet we have for you. Do you like him?
He's very nice, but I'd rather have a spider.
Lisa Loring creepied her way into America's hearts as the hair-raising, pig-tailed Wednesday Addams on the hit sitcom The Addams Family. The show made Loring one of the most famous kids in the country, but intense fame rarely leads to happiness. By the age of 16, Loring was a divorced single mother whose own mother had recently died from intense alcoholism, and Lisa was struggling to find acting work. She did have a brief comeback in the early 80s, appearing for 3 years on As the World Turns. In the late 80s, Loring married porn star Jerry Butler, a stormy relationship that led to her becoming completely dependent on heroin. Fortunately, Loring, not wanting to end up like her mother, got clean and now works in public relations for a hotel chain. She also occasionally tours the country, going to Addams Family conventions, and is still mobbed by adoring fans years later. Angela Cartwright. Cartwright played Penny Robinson in the iconic sci-fi series Lost in Space from 1965 to 68, and was the Von Trapp's bookish middle child in The Sound of Music. And we have videos covering both those topics, so you can enjoy adorable Angela all day. After her immense childhood success, she appeared in one of the worst movies of the 70s, Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, and more recently in the animated movies The Bolt Who Screwed Christmas and Elf Sparkle and the Red Dress. But Cartwright focuses most of her energy on her first love, photography, and currently has her own studio in Los Angeles. Angela has also been happily married for over 40 years. Fortunately, her life has played out completely different than many other child stars. Butch Patrick.
Once my mother told me that we were gonna live here we are for the rest of our lives. And maybe even longer.
Who could ever forget adorable little Eddie Munster, the werewolf child on the Munsters, played by the equally adorable Butch Patrick. Patrick used the show as a springboard to become one of the biggest child stars of the 1960s. And after the Munsters wrapped up, Patrick continued to have success as an actor, appearing in the movie The Phantom Tollbooth and the utterly bizarre kids' TV program Lidsville, about a magical world populated by giant hats. But at the age of 19, Patrick decided that Hollywood wasn't for him and stopped acting to, as he puts it, quote, drive fast cars and focus on surfing. He also formed a band in the mid-80s, Eddie and the Monsters, which became one of the first unsigned bands to have a video play on the fledgling channel MTV in 1983. Butch Patrick has since returned to acting, but you can be forgiven for not realizing it, as his most recent roles have come in such famous movies as Bite School and Zombie Dream. Patrick is also happily 10 years sober. Congrats, Butch. And there they are. They were small in stature, but huge in stardom. Did you watch any of these charismatic children? Which 1960s child star was your personal favorite? And if we missed one, please add it in the comments below. We read every one. Please be sure to hit the like button for us and subscribe to our channel for even more throwback goodies. From all of us here at Do You Remember, thanks so much for watching.